Evening folks, welcome back to UndercoverET. Guys, it's been an eventful weekend, kicking off right from Friday, and obviously Age of Disclosure came out. Folks, if you haven't watched it, it is a good watch, but I did honestly feel like it was just 3 documentaries pulled into one with a few extra people involved. But did it move the needle? That's the question. That's the big deal, right? Did it actually move the needle anywhere forward? I think it did. At least in the UK, people have been talking about the documentary. I'm going to show you a clip from Talk TV. Those guys were talking about it, which means the public are almost aware. We do need a few more news platforms to discuss this topic, though, because it's clear that, you know, these people aren't just a bunch of wackos. They are government elected officials, ex-military, retired. Some aren't retired, and there's a lot of people coming forward, a lot of big names as well. So like the news report says, and I'm going to play it soon, they're either all lying or they're all got something they want to say. And look, it's obvious something's going on. Okay, it's not just about the truth. These guys seem to be drip feeding this out slowly but surely, and they know something's going to happen. Now look, there's a lot of stuff going on, guys. We've got 3i Atlas that's still making its way to Jupiter. We've got another big object which is now just outside the solar system, which I'm going to go over as well. And so there's a lot going on. Not only that, the public evidence is so overwhelming, it's getting ridiculous. It really is. And this is just from my people, okay? I don't even know about who's sending what to Robert and other channels out there. It's crazy stuff, but it's happening, guys. Hoping in the next few years they're going to start going into detail about what craft they actually acknowledge, you know, officially. But for now, we're all waiting for Trump to come forward and acknowledge the fact that his people were in that documentary and they were all saying what they were saying. Now look, for anyone that thinks Trump's going to come forward with this or not, regardless of that, we do know that he has considered coming to the mic, coming forward and letting the world know. The Americans also have to consider the fact that Russia and other countries may also tell the world at some point. And so it's all about who wants to do it first, right? And who's in a position where they can do it. And what implications will that have behind the scenes as well as, you know, to the public. So it's a very complicated situation. I can appreciate that. I just don't care. The public record UFOs, UAP. We've got a right to know whether we're alone or not in the universe. I can tell you categorically we're not. We have visitors come in. You guys record the skies. I upload the evidence. I analyse it. I put it out there. And this has been going on now for a long time. And week on week, we get sent evidence. And that's no different. Today is no different. Of course, Ben in Oklahoma is starring in today's footage. In fact, it's a double Ben situation again. So we've got Ben in Oklahoma and we've got Ben in Cornwall as well. So guys, lots to show you. First of all, we are going to go over 3i Atlas. I'm going to show you one of the later images that I've actually enhanced, AI enhanced as well, to make it a little bit clearer. But yeah, guys, strange stuff. Let's get into it. Okay, spacetracker.space, most shocking 3i Atlas images yet. Interstellar comet 3i Atlas just revealed its strangest morphology ever. And let's take a look, guys. Now look, I'm not too sure that that's exactly what you're getting, because when you're looking at a bright star from a distance, even with these telescopes, you're not going to pick up exact lines like that. There's a high chance that the camera's just pulled together the image to make it what it is. The whole crisscross thing is what I'm talking about. There are multiple tails coming off of this thing, folks, and that's what makes this a very strange comet. And obviously all the composition, trajectory and all of that. So I say comet loosely because that's just what the guess is based on all the evidence. They're leaning more towards comet, but honestly they haven't released a clear picture yet, so who knows? Who really knows? It's just the light against the camera and you know, the fight that the camera's lens is having with the light shining towards it. So, and this is more like what it actually looks like. Okay, so you've got 2 tails coming off, one facing the sun, one facing away, and then you've got this aura and this plasma surrounding it. Okay, so it's made up of different composition. They think it's a comet, like I say, but they're still unsure. Avi makes a good point, because at the moment where there was multiple tails, you could say, they were in a perfect straight line, and yet this object is supposedly spinning round. And so what Avi's saying is these lines that are coming off this object should be smeared, you know, smeared into each other. You shouldn't really be seeing them as defined as they are, because the object's spinning, right? And yet we are. So again, another anomaly, which is it's still on Avi's radar. He's not satisfied with the answer, and fair play. Who can say with 100% certainty it's a comet? Not even the scientists. They could be 90% sure or 80% sure or whatever, 99 even. But who's 100% sure? And this is the argument, right? Because we're looking for rocks and things that identify with rocks, but actually we don't know what their composition may be of. Also, we've got a big rock coming into the atmosphere now, and this was reported by Stefan Burns. Okay, so Stefan has done an amazing job, and when I started this channel, he was literally one of the first channels I pulled up and said, I'm going to be drawing information from this individual because he seems really credible, he's on the ball. And folks, if you are interested in, just what's going on around the world, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, all that sort of stuff, if you've got family in another country and you want to keep an eye on their geography and find out if there's anything coming up, all that stuff, Stefan Burns is a great channel to tune into, guys. He can give you a heads up as to what potentially may happen. Predictions have been very, very accurate in the past. Let's just say that, which means he's good at what he does. He understands the information coming in. And for those that don't understand it, and I don't really understand it, you can just take the message that he's got to say on the day and take that at face value, because he's really good at what he does, honestly. So yeah, let's check out Stefan Burns.
With a very interesting video for you today on a very unusual, strange object that has been found coming in from ultra deep space close into our solar system. And this isn't just any unusual object from the hypothesized Oort cloud or like an interstellar object like 3I Atlas. This is an extremely large object. So it has a size, it's approximately 150 kilometers in diameter. That is the estimate that we have right now. As it gets closer in, that may change. This object is designated as C2014 UN271 Bernardinelli-Bernstein, and it's officially known as a comet, but honestly, it's quite bizarre. It's huge. It does display activity like a comet. It's been having outbursts, and there's been carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, and then also ammonia has been detected with this object. But remember, things in reality are often non-linear, which means that you have this system that's kind of looking stable and predictable, then all of a sudden things change. Classic example would be a black swan event, where just out of nowhere there's some sudden shock or economic disaster or something like that.
Yeah, and there is plenty of evidence of these black swan events where something just happens, it's completely out of the blue, at least to the people living on the mainland that are completely unaware of any technologies that could produce such earthquakes and all that. So what Stefan is saying is everything's normal until it's not, until something changes, and something always does. And it's the same with what we record in the skies, folks. Everything looks normal, everything looks like bugs and birds at first sight, at first glance, until you get that point of reference and you notice it. But let's be honest, guys, when you're recording stuff and you look back at it to see, to enjoy the moment that you may have recorded, who's looking up at the skies for UFOs? Honestly. And the amount of people that have got in contact with me, especially when I started the channel, I said, I've just gone back through all my videos, look at this, and they found stuff. It's because they're looking now for something specific. They've opened their mind up to it. They know what they're looking for, and that's what it's all about, guys. It's all about recording the skies at this point, not only to change perception, but to realise that we are not alone. And it's as simple as that. You just got to look at what you're actually recording. Like I say, no one ever really looks back, especially on a big screen, and starts slowing down their footage. There's not many people that do that. So what's changed in our situation, and what could change even more so? Well, from about 2015, 2014, our phones started getting pretty good, and by 2017, 2018, everyone had a decent phone camera in their pocket. And that's what's changed, which is why you've got clips of the golfer, and I'll overlay it now. And you've seen it all before, guys. You've been sat on the toilet watching all these short videos of people playing football, people playing golf, people doing all kinds of crazy tricks, people trying to do all kinds of crazy things. and they're recording themselves, and normally they're outside, and the sheer amount of evidence that's come in, they're like, look at that hockey puck that's just gone past. I've seen it. I've been watching football clips where guys been taking a free kick and one's it past. Just so happens in this moment, and it was only a matter of time before something freaky like that did occur, guy whacked out his driver, driven the golf ball up into the air, and the hockey puck's gone past, and it just so happens it's made contact, you know. It's gone right past in the right moment, in the right spot for the ball to hit it. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it? It was always going to happen. Maybe it's happened in the past, but have we ever had it recorded? No. What's the difference? Everyone's recording themselves these days. So this is why I say record the skies, record just above your houses, guys. They are literally ground level. Thank you, Stefan. Keep up the good work. Everyone, give him a sub. He's honestly really, really good. And if you've got family around the world that you worry about sometimes, this man tends to give you really good updates before anything even happens, because he can see the shift in the earth, and he can see what's going on and what could potentially go off. So yeah, guys, he should be well over 1 million subscribers by now. So thank you very much, Stefan. All right, dragging us back to Age of Disclosure. Grumman600 has posted this, and it's Talk TV, and she's covering, this lady's called Alex, by the way, and she's covering the Age of Disclosure documentary here in Britain. And you can hear from what she's saying and her reaction, people here have no clue. Check it out.
Whistleblowers coming from the US military, coming from the CIA, coming from the Senate and Congress, and swearing on oath about whether or not, and wait for this, whether or not aliens or UAPs or UFOs, as they used to be called, are with us. I know, it sounds crazy, but a programme has just dropped on Amazon, and I watched it yesterday. Have we got the trailer for that? Indeed we do. So let me show you what I was watching just last night. Wow. When I said to Ted I was doing this, Ted was like, oh God, aliens, Alex, really? But I'm not losing my mind, am I, Christopher Sharp? Because what we have seen taking place in America is indisputably revelations or disclosure on the fact that for a long time now, whether it be in the private sector with defence corporations or the US military, for a long time there's suggestions that there have been investigations into particularly certain crafts that seem to defy the laws of physics as we know it. Christopher, can you fill us in? Because it's a huge topic, and I don't really know where to begin myself.
Now, you all know who Chris is because you've seen him on News Nation enough times. And yeah, he's like one of the few guys that will report back to either or and just say it as it is, you know, say what's happening. And he goes on to talk about the current administration and why Trump may drop a bombshell. Let's be honest, a lot of the people in that documentary are quite friendly with Trump. Marco Rubio being his Secretary of State, you would have thought Trump may act on this now. Part of his team are involved in this, okay, and the whistleblowers that are coming forward, he respects. So I can't understand why he wouldn't come forward other than for reasons we can't quite understand yet that are behind closed doors. But I suspect, being his last term in office, something is going to happen sooner rather than later, guys. I can't wait. This is all me just with a logical mind right now. Looking at everything that's happened, Age of Disclosure coming out when it did, I feel like something is due to happen within the next 6 months. But let's see. I think they're going to get Christmas out of the way and then it's all going to blow up. But we'll see. Thank you very much, Talk TV. And I have sent you an email, folks. I'll overlay the email now. I've basically given them Ben's evidence of his saucer in Oklahoma as a taster, and I've obviously got footage from the UK that I'm waiting to send them, but I just want to send it directly to the people that are going to be dealing with it. I'm happy to share. I've already shared it. I feel like if they want the most credible evidence out of the UK, we have it, unless there's someone hiding something that we haven't seen yet. I feel like the Wales clip is up there with the best in terms of definite non-human intelligence in our skies. So I'm just waiting for them to mull that email over. They may get back to me, they may not, guys. If they don't get back to me and they're not interested in the actual video evidence, and I know it's come from the public, so maybe they're not allowed to take it seriously, but I have given them, like I say, a detailed email explaining the people with the high credibility with me, the sheer amount of videos we have, and if they ignore it, at least we've got it on record that they've ignored it. Should anyone come forward later on and say, how did we not know about this? I can say, well, they just ignored it. Okay, so holding people to account, but at the same time hoping for a good result, and someone getting back to me. We can only hope, guys. Well, in fact, what I would actually ask you guys to do is email Talk TV yourselves and just point them in my direction. Push it. Push what we're doing, because what we're doing is a good thing. People need to know, and for every email they ignore, it tells its own story, doesn't it? And we don't want to be lied to anymore. That's the whole point in this, guys. Anyway, let's continue. So there was some talk of a blue beam shining from the ground up in London over the last 48 hours. I haven't seen loads of videos coming out, okay, so that would tell me it's probably fake. Something like that would be recorded from multiple angles, from multiple people, and it would be going all over the internet. So I'm going to just show you a clip from 2021. I won't play you the audio because the guy is swearing quite a bit, and that's more of a legit reaction that I would expect, but again, it's just the one video. He claims this to be UFO images, but there's no UFO, it's just a light, okay, so we don't know what it is. But here's the clip. So this is somewhere in central London, I think, and okay, I don't think it's this YouTuber who took the footage himself, he's just overlaying it. 19th of November 2021, weird blue pulsing light in the sky. It almost looks turquoise greenish, doesn't it? Yeah, so there was something similar, but it was like a single beam apparently. If you've got any information on that, do let me know in the comments. I'm not seeing loads and loads of clips about it, so I just got to assume it's fake. But this one to me seems more legit in terms of his reaction. But again, what could that be, making that colour in the sky? Anyone ever seen anything like it before? Let me know in the comments where you were, what you saw, and if you can make any comparisons against this video right here. Strange, very, very strange. All right, so before we get into the new evidence, guys, I just want to go over and touch on this video from Chris Carncross, Brisbane, Australia. He sent it in to me just a few days ago. I went over it, put it out on the channel, but I've also noticed something interesting just last night that I really wanted to just go over again quickly. So thanks again, Chris, for this. It's another one that's quite compelling, to be honest with you. So just there, right at the start, guys, look at the fence here, down here, look at the fence. Now, I did notice this before, but I just assumed it would be a bird flying above. Check it out. Look at the speed and shape of this object here. Look. And so what happens is, after that moment where you see a shadow here, you see the object above. When it gets sort of beyond the fence, you see it here. See? And I'm just going to play that again. See? Very, very strange indeed. To me, it looks like a shadow, right? What's going on there? Is that a shadow of the object flying over in that moment? Look, what's going on? And this is the crazy thing. It happens towards the end as well. So you get that bee-like object, which, by the way, Chris has confirmed where he is in Australia, there aren't any bees that colonate over there. But yeah, you can see here the crazy flickering of this object, like a shadow. But this time you see it in the sky first. And this is the significant thing, guys. You see it in the sky first after that bee-like object, which was not a bee. Yeah, flickering. And then within the same time frame as the first time, you see the shadow. You see it here, look, a shadow. And that's a shadow, right? Of the object that we just saw there. So going back to the start again. You see the shadow here first, with a small object that zips past. Okay, shadow's here, and then you see it in the sky. Boom. Okay, and then back end of the video, you see it in the sky first, and then you see the shadow. So that tells me the object was flying above. It flew above your camera from right to left. You saw the shadow in the fence first, then you saw it in the sky afterwards, and then it came back the exact way, backwards, from left to right. You saw it in the sky first, and then when it passes over, you see the shadow, and it's doing this crazy, whatever it's doing. Guys, I don't know. Can you let me know in the comments? Because it's either this object decided to pop down into his garden and then go up, but we don't see that. We just see the lines here, and then the lines appear in the sky. So baffled. Let me know in the comments, mate. Well done. Thank you very much, Chris. If you do want to see the full analysis, just check back on the previous videos in the last couple of days, and you'll find it interesting stuff. All right, guys, we are on to Ben in Cornwall now. Ben is another pioneer in the UFO research. He's been doing some crazy stuff. Okay, he's been throwing up frisbees, duct tape. He's been on his motorbike doing tricks, and these UAPs seem to be interacting with him. They seem to love what he's doing, in fact. Maybe even find it entertaining, who knows. But they are spending quite a bit of time with Ben. And we've had a bit of snow recently, so Ben's got inventive, and he's decided to throw a snowball into the air. And you can already see there's a few white dots. Now, one would assume that when he's thrown that snowball into the air, little pixels of white snow would have gone up into the air with it. Okay, so I accept that. But there's one object in particular that shoots across and then bends round, and that completely rules out any foul play, anyone throwing anything from another angle, off camera, all that sort of stuff. So check it out. You can see in the background there is snow going up with it, or white objects going up with it and dropping down. Okay. What's strange is they seem to be dropping down before the main object, which is clearly heavier, right? Because it's bigger. You'd expect that one to drop a lot quicker than the light fluffy stuff. But the one that catches my eye is the one that comes across the screen and then turns. Okay. Now, looking at this, and we've said it before, they're mimicking whatever's in the sky in this moment, and for this moment here, I think they're mimicking your snow, mate. It sounds crazy, alright, but you got that one object there that just sets aside from the rest. And so it's difficult, but I've got no doubts. Look, I've got no doubts that you've captured stuff, mate, because you always do. All right, video number 2 from Ben in Cornwall. Let's go. There, very quick. Also, you've got the sun facing you, so even if it was just a reflective object, it would look white at this point, you know. Even if it was a dark object, it may look white. But certainly a fast mover, zips across really fast. Very cool, Ben. Let's keep it going. Whoa. Well, actually, that is exactly what Dr. Shipe is capturing in terms of the look. Maybe you've just got a very similar husky environment that Dr. Shipe's getting. But that is exactly what Dr. Shipe's capturing on his P1000s. Yeah. And I know if you look at it, guys, it kind of looks quite hazy at the front and at the back. And they're the plasma jets that you're seeing. The main object is in the centre, that white puck or we're calling it a dragon UAP, but I describe it like a hockey puck. And the more detail we get on these things, it almost looks like a metal barbell that you would use in a gym. So they are looking very strange at distance. I mean, that looks very sorcery, doesn't it? And the bit in the front and the back here is just it's because of the sheer speed of the object, guys. You know, this is what you're getting. And this is, like I say, that's very identical to what Dr. Shipe is capturing. All right, on to Ben in Oklahoma, and he is producing the goods as normal, guys. Check this out. Now, was that our saucer friend? Oh, I think we've got our saucer friend may be back, Ben. Look at this. Gliding through the air. Now, it could have been a bird because of the sheer distance. The fact that it would have been thin. It was gliding, going in and out of visual. It looks like you have dragons here as well, man, zipping through the sky. Very clearly getting close to the plane there, just because of the size of the objects and the speed that they're moving at. I feel like they could be dragons. But of course, we need something else just to be sure, right? We need something else. And I think you come through, Ben. I think you come through. Yeah, there you go. White object, boom, straight across the top of the plane there. Looks like a dragon with it as well. Very small, boom. Very cool, Ben. Very cool indeed. Another white orb. Fast. Super fast. You can see the small black object up there with it. And then you've got this one closest to the lens, maybe out of focus. Mate, your saucer is still up there. Your saucer is still up there. I know this is very subtle and no one can really say for sure, but mate, remember the interpolation done by Dr. Robert Shipe. Think about it. Look at these two objects here. Look at the interpolation. You're just missing your saucer, but it's up there, mate. I can guarantee you it's up there. You're just not, you know, it's one of these two objects. It's one of these two objects, mate. Keep filming the skies. I'm trying to get hold of US officials because they need to know what you're recording in Oklahoma. Guys, if you haven't watched it, please watch the interview between me and Ben Harrison. It will help you. It will give you confidence to film the skies. And once you're confident, the captures will start happening, guys. That's what it's all about. And we're going to end on a picture. I mean, I don't normally do pictures, right? But this is interesting. So Katie's son over in Essex took this when he was 15 years old back in February of this year. And look, a nighttime capture. And it's very, very odd that we get nighttime footage. Look where it is, just above the tree line. Look at the shape and size of this thing. Now, story behind it is this. Katie's son comes running into the house, says, Mum, I've just seen a UFO. I've just seen a UFO at the bottom of the garden. She's like, what? You know, whatever. And he's like, look, I've got a photo. And this is the photo. Now, apparently it zipped off really fast. As he took the photo, it moved off very fast and he couldn't get any more. But I just find it ironic that you're capturing UFOs above a tree, mate. And I've got no reason to disbelieve you because I claim to be doing the same thing. In fact, I go live, I film them. I've been filming them now for the past year. Get radio hits as well. They look about this size. They travel really, really fast. And sometimes you do get a saucer or a triangle or something else as well. So all I can say is, guys, keep recording, stay curious. This whole disclosure thing might come down to the public. And so we should record, we should analyse, we should take it seriously. And when asked, we should produce this evidence to the bodies that need to see it in order to get this information out there. That's my job, that's my goal, that's what it's all about. If you can get behind that and you can support that, please do. Become a member as well. That helps me tick over. I am going to do more for the members in the new year, some more raw footage for members in the new year, but ultimately, guys, your membership keeps me going so that I don't have to fight the algorithm. The more members I get, the better the research becomes. I can invest in better equipment, get a Scooby wagon, start traveling more, and that's the plan, guys. I'm already planning to go to LA to meet up with Doc and do some filming out there. His spot is ground zero for this research. And so I'd much rather spend time with Doc and go over his area and what he's doing, what he's capturing, and see if we can get anything clearer and find out maybe where these things are coming from. It's going to take a few sets of eyes, so I'm up for the job. And we're going to do it at our own expense as well, guys. This is the thing. And we don't mind, but we do need your support. So please go onto Robert's channel, support him and support me as well as we continue the research for UFO, UAP and non-human intelligence. With that said, thank you so much for your time. Take care, all the best, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.